Oh, Jennifer Tilly definitely deserves more attention. She's not some typical mean girl archetype. She's a genuine girl's girl with a good heart. If she's leaving the show, they either need to give her her own spin-off or bring in more characters like her. The world really could use more people who actually have good morals, right? But hey, I guess people don't exactly tune into reality TV for good moral character, do they? Honestly, I love her quirky vibe. It's really clear that there's more to her story now, that she's opened up about feeling left out of the main clique. And let's not forget about the gossip in the tabloids about how the other cast members supposedly don't like her. I bet those ladies are just jealous of her wealth. People who march to the beat of their own drum, quirky, eccentric ones, usually get judged harshly. But Jennifer seems totally self-assured and confident, so she'd probably handle any drama with the other ladies just fine. Honestly, I think Dorit is the one who planted that whole "no one likes Jennifer" rumor. Dorit can't stand her because she's besties with Sutton, otherwise she'd probably be trying to get in her good graces just like everyone else. Oh, Garcelle's finally waking up to the reality that her friendship with Sutton has been one-sided. Who would have thought we'd see the day she actually say it out loud? So here's the deal. Garcelle isn't mad that Sutton's a bad friend. No, what really set her off is that Sutton's too busy obsessing over Kyle to have Garcelle's back. She didn't want a loyalty test, she just wanted someone to gang up on Kyle with, and Sutton failed her miserably. It was one thing when they privately teamed up against everyone, but now, in front of the group, Garcelle's left looking like the fool. Garcelle's finally clued into Sutton's game. Behind the scenes, when it's convenient for Sutton, she's Team Garcelle. But in public, oh, she's Team Kyle. Maybe because Kyle's wallet fits, or maybe Sutton's just been angling for Kyle's approval all along, who knows? Either way, Garcelle's starting to realize that Sutton's loyalty might have always been with Kyle, not her. And don't get me started on Boz. Both Garcelle and Boz are coming to terms with the fact they've been defending people who really don't deserve it. Garcelle's tired of watching Sutton kiss Kyle's ring and still not get the loyalty she thought she deserved. Honestly, it's kind of painful to watch Garcelle get hurt by Sutton. I'm glad she didn't stick up for her after Erica laid into her. Everything Erica said was true. Sutton's only weapon is her money, and let's be real, that's her whole identity. She might have the cash, but Garcelle's got the heart. And the aftershow? Garcelle goes deeper into how she feels. It's clear Sutton's loyalty has always been a front, and Garcelle's done with it. Oh, and remember how Garcelle and Sutton were all sneaky about how to bring up the Kyle issue. They agreed on it, but Garcelle was pissed that Sutton wouldn't even stand by her when it mattered. It was a classic case of one woman realizing she's been blindly supporting the wrong friend for way too long. Garcelle didn't care about the Kyle/Morgan drama. What she really wanted was to see if Sutton would pass the loyalty test. Sutton failed, and now Garcelle's left feeling hurt and betrayed. She's given up a lot to support Sutton, and in the end, Sutton didn't even return the favor. At this point, Garcelle's in full wake-up girl mode, realizing she's been wasting energy on a friendship that doesn't have the same foundation she thought. It's petty, but this loyalty test was the reality check she needed. Sutton's confessional about "now everyone knows I'm really friends with Kyle" is going to dig that resentment in deeper. Honestly, I can't wait to see how this plays out. Sutton's gonna have to face the music without Garcelle in her corner. Let's see how she handles it then. Keep Real Housewives off boats. Seriously. This isn't a spoiler. It's just basic reality TV wisdom. Housewives and boats never mix. Whether it's Beverly Hills, OC, New York City, or Atlanta, it's a universal truth. Get them on a boat, and chaos is guaranteed. Case in point, the Miami-Mexico City boat episode from last season. That one was peak insanity. We had people vomiting, freaking out over an island full of haunted baby dolls, throwing food at dogs, because why not? And, of course, nude mariachis for no reason other than pure chaos. It was like a reality TV fever dream. And let's be real, the boat is a Bravo staple for a reason. It's the perfect setup to stir the pot. You've got a group of people trapped together, no escape, and then, just for fun, they throw in a healthy dose of alcohol. It's literally their secret recipe for drama. They know what they're doing. Every single season, at least once, they unleash the boat for maximum meltdown potential. And it works every time. Ah, Sutton, always the picture of subtlety and grace, isn't she? Look, I get wanting to be Team Garcelle this season, but after the latest episode, I'm not sure how anyone could, with a straight face, still think Sutton is on that team. Garcelle's problem with Sutton isn't about bad friendship. It's about Sutton's undying devotion to the one and only Kyle Richards. Seriously, Sutton's not mad that Garcelle's upset with her. She's mad because Sutton didn't fall in line and bash Kyle with her over some Morgan being off-topic nonsense. The real kicker, though, Sutton's desperate, oh so painful need to be Kyle's bestie. Like, it's not just a little, I want to be in her inner circle. No, Sutton is practically throwing herself at Kyle, loudly announcing, "Kyle is my friend," and everyone saw it. We're all cringing here, Sutton. It's like we've been suspecting it. But now it's confirmed. Sutton's been holding out for the ultimate prize. Kyle? Garcelle. She's just the placeholder, the backup friend. The training wheels before the big leagues. The one who makes the show so much juicier. How does Sutton not see this? And that moment when Sutton said, "And everybody else knows it too. Oh honey, my soul left my body." Like, we've all been side-eyeing your weird obsession with Kyle, but that line just made it painfully, embarrassingly obvious. You're not fooling anyone, sweetheart. Now, Garcelle wants Sutton to have her back when calling out Kyle, but Sutton's not playing that game. She's not about to risk her Kyle connection for the drama. Instead, she'll quietly support Garcelle in private, but in public. She's all about making sure everyone knows she's Team Kyle. Meanwhile, Garcelle's been blindly defending Sutton, even when Sutton's wrong. Because that's what friends do, right? Unfortunately, Garcelle's idea of friendship is putting her neck on the line for someone who can't even speak up for her in front of Kyle. Here's the thing, Sutton's been playing this game for a while now. She wants to stay in Kyle's good graces, but what she doesn't get is that Garcelle already gave her the friendship she craves. She already won. But no, Sutton's too busy chasing after a friendship that's honestly not worth it. When will she realize that Garcelle is the true prize here? I honestly thought my eyes were going to stay permanently lodged at the back of my head with how much I had to roll them at Garcelle, getting all butthurt over not discussing some tired topic with Kyle. Like, seriously, I get it, everyone wants to know why we can't talk about Morgan Wade, but let's face it, she's not saying anything more about her ever. LVP initially came off as the queen bee, and Kyle was basically the boring runner-up. And of course, since Kyle's the only OG RHOBH, and and to Paris Hilton, it's hard not to see her as the top of the food chain. Is there any salad dressing? Because, let's be real, I'm not a rabbit. And seriously, how do we get Catherine off this show? I still laugh at who's hunky-dory. But honestly, what has she even contributed since then? As I've said before, she's not exactly winning any beauty contests either. In my humble opinion, she's got Bravo and Andy wrapped around her finger. That's the only reason she's still here. Honestly, I'm betting it's something to do with the Aspen trip and her little meltdown. I believe every word Rinna said. Garcelle is absolutely seething with jealousy over Sutton wanting to get closer to Kyle. It's pretty obvious. Every time Sutton mentions how she loved to be friends with Kyle or goes on about how Kyle did something amazing, Garcelle's lips practically turn into a permanent pout. She can't help but toss out some snarky remark, like she's personally offended by the idea of Sutton getting Kyle's attention. Sutton, on the other hand, is all about trying to get in with the cool kid and Garcelle. Well, she's clearly not thrilled about being left out of the clique. Classic case of jealousy, if you ask me. So you're diving into RHOBH and you're already at season 4, love it. And now you're trying to decode the whole taking down a housewife at the reunion thing. It's pretty much the ultimate Real Housewives art form. When people say taking down, they basically mean the other women are preparing to go full-on attack mode, usually over some juicy drama or scandal that's been building. Think of it like a group of sharks circling their prey and waiting for the reunion to rip that person apart on TV. Do they know it's coming? Oh, absolutely. No one is blindsided in these shows. These women have been hyping up their targets for months, and there's always some whispering behind the scenes. But hey, it's all part of the game. As for the friendships, well, let's just say some are real, but definitely not all of them. It's a bit like a group project in school. Some people actually get along, while others are just there because they have to be. So don't go getting all sentimental thinking they're having sleepovers and braiding each other's hair in their downtime. Oh, Erica did nothing wrong. Wait, let me rephrase that. I might be exaggerating a tiny bit. During her divorce and Tom's little funds mishap, did Erica handle it perfectly? Definitely not. But hey, cut her some slack. She couldn't afford a PR manager. I honestly believe Erica could have been completely clueless about the full extent of Tom's crimes, based on how she explains her finances, because, let's be real, she explains them in a way that sounds like she had zero control. From the very start, it's clear she wasn't making any money moves without asking Tom for approval first. Whether it was for herself or her Erica Jane persona, it all had to go through him. She lived her life by checking in with Tom to see if she could afford the next big purchase. He'd either say yes or no. Meanwhile, she had absolutely no clue how much actual money they even had. People love to point out, how could she not notice $2 million just disappearing into their accounts? But newsflash, she wasn't exactly the one handling the finances. Tom took care of all of that, and she just swiped the credit card. Tom paid it off. End of story. Now, she wasn't exactly giving away interviews left and right. But that's not a shocker considering the whole ongoing legal drama. Why would she say anything that could come back to bite her? Especially when it comes to implicating Tom, who could still maybe be found innocent, highly unlikely, but technically a possibility. Do you really think she wants to open herself up to being sued by him or his estate? Yeah, I didn't think so. Maybe she could have clarified things by saying, yeah, it's pretty obvious Tom's guilty, but I get it, better safe than sorry when you're playing the legal game. Could she have shown more sympathy? Sure, maybe. She said all she can, given the legal chaos surrounding her. But here's the thing that no one seems to appreciate. She was broke, like, actually broke. In season 11, when the news first broke, if Bravo's check hadn't cleared yet, she would have had nothing. Tom and her had nothing in her name, and then bam, everything got frozen. She was just a girl, sitting on a couch, praying for a paycheck. She had zero to give to the victims. It's not even broke in the typical housewife way, it's dead broke. Of course, she focused on herself and did what she could to keep her head above water. She's got every right to do that. All she could offer was a statement, and even then, she had to be super careful with her words to avoid further legal headaches. Did she know something was up before the divorce? Yeah, probably. There were lawsuits popping up left and right, and her cards were getting declined when she was on Broadway. But did she know the full extent? Not really. I can't imagine how terrifying that situation must have been, no matter how much she was getting paid for being on TV. I don't blame her for looking like a deer in the headlights while trying to juggle everything, especially when producers are throwing curveballs her way. I haven't finished season 12 yet, so my opinions may change, but as of now, this is where I stand. But hey, we all know Erica's super smart and calculated, right? She definitely had to know. I kinda agree with you. It's definitely an unpopular opinion. Sometimes, when she lashes out, she really manages to say the absolute worst thing possible. I don't think she's this big mastermind like some people make her out to be. She's sharp, no doubt, but I'm just not sold on her knowing the full extent of Tom's mess. I mean, wasn't Tom literally the top attorney before all this blew up? If I were her, I'd probably be wearing rose-colored glasses too. When you're married to someone at the top of their field, who wouldn't believe them, especially when they're fulfilling their lifelong dream?